Here's a forgotten Tesla stock catalyst. Let's take a look at Gary's tweet here. He's saying that Tesla has the lowest percentage of institutional ownership among the top 10 most valuable companies. So if you look at Apple, and these numbers are based on the percentage of float on September 30th, Apple is at 62%, which we know is the second stock most loved by retail investors, and Tesla is of course number one. And you look at Alphabet and you look at Amazon, you look at Microsoft, these are pretty high percentages that are owned by institutions. But I want to show you this, and this is not talked enough in the Tesla stock community. So Apple stock, when we look at which institutions own Apple stock, of course Vanguard Group owns 7.7%, then BlackRock is 6.2%, and then, this is where things get interesting, Berkshire Hathaway holds 5.4% at the time of writing this article. That's Warren Buffett. Berkshire began buying Apple stock in 2016. So let's just do this fun exercise and see what happened to Apple stock when Warren Buffett started buying. Now, this is not proof or anything like that Tesla stock would double or that Apple doubled just because Warren Buffett bought it, but it's something to consider. And then also, let's not forget about all of this right here. I believe that one day Warren Buffett will buy Tesla stock. Now, when exactly will that happen? That's a different story. But I believe that is going to happen. It's difficult to ignore all this cash that Tesla is accumulating, and we know Warren Buffett likes cash flow, which Tesla, I believe, will have too much of in the rather near future. The growth of Tesla is quite spectacular. If we go with Gary Black's numbers, adjusted net income for Tesla by 2030 is almost $200 billion a year. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but I think in my personal deep conviction that Warren Buffett is very highly likely to eventually buy Tesla stock. I mean, Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway got into BYD earlier. Gary Black, in an interview with Tom Nash just a few days ago, said that the biggest obstacle for institutional investors to get into Tesla stock is the key man risk. Gary said that if the worst happens to Elon and Elon is no longer, let's say, the CEO, he said that the stock could drop 15-20% in one single day, as an example. And there's no clear second person who would take over. So that would certainly create instability. And also, we know that Elon likes to Elon. Elon's new Twitter profile picture summarizes that very well, I think. Let that one sink in. But eventually a time will come when Elon is no longer going to be the CEO. And then I think also institutional investors will be a lot more likely to jump on Tesla stock. And Elon, he might still stay as, for example, an engineer, but not necessarily the CEO. And I think institutions might actually find that preferable. But the key man risk is real. Let's do some quick napkin math here. What is the probability of Elon passing away if you hold Tesla stock for, let's say, 10 years, which was my very big concern, by the way, before I went all into Tesla stock with my stock portfolio. It would appear to me that Elon has pretty good genes and that we could avoid a lot of diseases. For example, we can rule out heart disease, cancer, COVID. Elon is still pretty young, so We can also probably rule out for now all of those. I really would not expect Elon to, at least on purpose, definitely not. I would say, and then we can also rule out falls, because that's mostly old people falling. And when you are brittle, of course, if let's say you are 104 years old and you fall, that's fatal to you. So let's just do some quick napkin math. I think this one is probably the highest risk, and probably maybe this here as well. But let's just keep things really simple. And I think this one is the most likely. So 1% chance that's in your whole lifetime. So if we assume, let's say we hold Tesla stock for 10 years. So we have 1 out of 100 probability that Elon would pass away from a car accident in his life. And let's say Elon lives 100 years old total. So we're only holding this for 10% of his life, which would bring us to a chance of about 1 out of 1,000 that he would pass away from a motor vehicle during the next 10 years. Now, you would want to add up this as well. And I think for Elon, this, because of the whole Twitter thing and him being the kingmaker in politics now, I think this is going to be a higher probability. But let's say we make the odds twice as bad as what I just did here with napkin math. And then let's say, okay, it's 1 out of 500 that worse happens to Elon, let's say, if we just use the simple napkin math here as an example. So to me personally, these odds are perfectly acceptable. So I strongly agree with Gary here that there's going to be more pressure for institutional investors to own Tesla stock. And there is also, we have to remember the increase in Tesla's grade when it comes to ratings from S&P, and I think Tesla will continue climbing up the credit rating chart, and as that happens, more and more institutional investors will be more likely to own more of Tesla stock. Now, I wouldn't take this tweet too seriously. I mean, this tweet has been literally tweeted by a bird. But it's something interesting to look at and dream about what is possible if we compare Apple with Tesla. These are 48 reasons why I only own Tesla stock. My name is Matt Postius, and I will see you in the next video later today. Thank you so much for watching.